What's up, nerds? So I watched the seventh episode of the penultimate episode of The Acolyte. And you guys, listen, I do not understand people that can defend this show after this episode because this episode was fucking dog shit, yo. This episode made zero sense. We finally found out what those four Jedi did, and I'm all like, first off, it's not that bad. Second off, there's shit in this episode. I'm all like, what are you talking about? I do not know how they're going to wrap all this nonsense up in one 40-minute episode. I'm like, it's just, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's a bad show. I'm sorry. Like, if you like it, good for you. I don't know what to do. You need fixing, but I just don't understand. You must really love bad writing. I'm gonna go hard on you. I don't care, but like, you just really love bad writing if you love this show. And I'm like, like, I'm sorry. Like, I bet you, and I bet you I could have wrote a better show than this. Like, this show just sucks balls. I'll tell you right now. Okay. One positive thing I will say though, the Kelnacca lightsaber fight was not that great. I felt the fighting was a little too choppy, kind of like Ahsoka. But before that, when the Torbin guy, when he was like wielding it around and stuff, that was actually pretty good. Okay. So I want to get into breaking this episode down and trying to make sense of anything this show has to offer. This episode gave no clarity, and it also kind of pissed me off that they got Carrie-Anne Moss, and I feel like they have wasted her completely. She could have been a way cooler character in this show, and she's not. She's like they just a big waste, in my opinion, the biggest waste of all. Like I'm really annoyed with them that they wasted Carrie-Anne Moss because she could have been really good for this show, and they didn't do anything with her, like literally nothing with her. Okay, let me get to this breakdown. I probably already pissed off a bunch of you, but I don't care. But all right, let's get to it. Here we go. Okay, so 16 years earlier, the four Jedi discover the Coven while investigating a potential vergence in the Force on Bardock, which would create life. So they talk about how this system, there's no life except for this planet, and because there was like a vergence in the Force and it created life on this planet. And I'm all like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm like, this part, I'm like, whatever. We all know the vergence, we find out later, is the witches created the twins. And I'm all like, okay, whatever. I'm literally like, just like, I just don't care. I just don't care. And and I'll talk about stuff at the end, but yeah, this part I was like, whatever. The Jedi Council decides that the twins are too old and should be left with the Coven, despite Osha's wish to become a Jedi. So after all is said and done, the council has decided, like after they got their testing done, and the council's like, no, we're not going to take the girls. And Saul is all like, but I want a Jedi Padawan. And Inara's all like, no, you can't have one. Like, you can't have these girls. They said no. And it's so annoying. Like, I'm just like, they said no, dude. Stop being a child, okay? Coral stokes May's anger over Osha's decision because she's angry also. And this leads May to accidentally starting the fire. So Coral, right? And she is straight up just an angry lesbian. Like, it is crazy. Like, they are just like, she's just mad all the time, all day, every day. And I'm all like, you need to calm it down, sister. But she is all like, May, you need to get angry. And I'm all like, but why? Like, I'm sorry. Like, you guys, you just need to calm it down. She's definitely your child and everything. And so she's just like feeding into that anger. And I'm just like, whatever, dude. I honestly don't care. She's like, sisters, prepare yourselves. And I'm all like, okay, prepare yourselves with your little bow and arrows. Like, that's going to do anything. The results for the twins' M count, which shows their force sensitivity, indicates that they were artificially created with a single consciousness split into two bodies. I guess. Whatever, go figure. So the M count comes in, and their midichlorians are high, and they're the same. So they've talked about how they split the consciousness into two different bodies. So a small piece of me thinks that they're going to join those with their little black misty things, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But their black mist that Asaya and then a coral, it's so weird. It's so weird. Anyways, so I think that they're going. I think the ascension was to combine the two girls together as one being. So that's interesting, but at the same time, it's also stupid. Like I just don't care. Like why would you create them just to put them back together? It's so stupid. And so they're not going to explain. I bet you they don't explain any of this shit. I'll just tell you that right now. Torbin, like a little asshole, is too eager to get back to Coruscant because it's just so exciting there. He sees this as proof of the virgins and rushes to retrieve the girls. So Torbin, this whole time, he's all like, I want to go back to Coruscant. And I'm all like, can you stop being a whiny little bitch, Justin Timberlake circa 2002? Like, I am so sick and tired of this character. Like, stop being a whiny little bitch with your wig. Like, was that a wig? I don't even know if that's his real hair. It looked weird. Like in some scenes it looked fine, and then in other scenes it looked terrible. But so he's all like, I'm gonna go get those kids so I can go back to home. And I'm all like, why are you guys not stopping him with your force powers? Like, that's the problem with these Jedi. They use the force sometimes, and then sometimes they don't use the force. I'm all like, you guys, he's a Padawan. Use the force to pull him off that speeder or to stop him from getting on the speeder. Why are you guys letting him do this? Like, it takes him a hot minute to get on that speeder. You guys are just letting him do it like a child. You think I let my children do whatever they want? No. I'm like, so why are you letting this child do whatever he wants? Like, but they don't even try to stop him. Sol follows, and the pair confront the coven before Kelnacca and Indara arrive. So Saul, he goes after him, right? And then the other two get on the ship, and Kelnacca and Indara. And Saul goes, and she's like, we'll meet you there. And so he goes, and they are going to confront the coven, okay? And they get in there, and Mae has locked the doors. Like, they can't get in, so they have to climb up the walls. And they're all like, we have come for the girls. And the corals are like, you can't have them. And they just get the arrows start flying, and Coral and Saul start fighting. She's all like, fight me and everything, and he just won't do it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Saul kills Anasea when she attempts to use her, ring wraith powers. I don't know what's going on here. She turns into like a cloud of like black sand. It's just weird. So Anasea comes in, and Mae runs out, and she's all like, help, there's a fire. And then she's like, help me. Now, Coral then takes this weird stance, right? She's all like, huh. And Anasea is all like, she's like, oh, and everything. And she turns into this black sand. I have no idea what's going on here. You don't know what's going on here. Nobody knows what's going on here. And they are not, I bet you they're not going to explain it. I will bet you anything they're not going to explain it, right? And so Saul whips out his lightsaber and he kills Anasea. Because that's the only time you whip out your lightsaber is when you're going to kill somebody. And he kills her. But before she dies, she goes, I was going to let her go with you. She chose you. And I'm like, okay, well, you're dead now. And she's going to go with him anyways. I'm just like, I don't care. Like, and that's a big problem with this show is they want you to care about these characters, but they have not put in the work to make you care about any of these characters. Like, I don't care about any of these characters. None of them. The witches possess Kelnacca, and they use him to attack Torbin and Saul until Indara shows up and then overpowers him and then uses her her force powers to turn him back to normal. So then Coral, and there's another thing, I'll bring this up in a minute at the end, but Coral, then she turns into the black sand, right? And she's all like, you should not have brought him with you. And Torbin's all like, my mind is fortified. And they're like, she's like, I wasn't talking about you. And then all you hear, and then Kelnacca shows up. And I told you guys this from before. I had this theory before that he was going to get possessed by the witches. And that's exactly, they were all like doing their, with their black eyes. And they just start fighting, right? And I didn't think that, and I said before, I didn't think that this lightsaber fight with Kelnacca was that great in terms of the choreography. I felt it was a little too choppy. I beforehand when they were doing like the Force Fu and stuff, it was all good. But the lightsaber work wasn't as great. I was getting Ahsoka vibes fight sequence wise from this fight sequence, which is fine. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is, but it's fine. So they're losing, right? They're going to lose to Kelnacca. He's going to kill both of them, and the witches will win. But then Indara shows up, and she like lands on his shoulders, and she like does her little mind powers and frees him. But all the witches are all like, oh, and they pass out, right? And I don't know if she killed him when she did that or whatnot, but they all pass out and everything. And yeah. So then Indara's all like, go get the twins. And so Saul runs off into the little building to get the twins, right? Saul is unable to save both Mae and Osha because his force powers are a little weak sauce and everything. So he's unable to save both of them from the burning fortress. And so he chooses to save Osha, and he's just like, fuck you, Mae. And he's standing there and he's all like, ugh, and he's trying to save both of them. But he can only save one because he's weak. He's a weak bitch. And he decides he's going to save Osha because he's being like, I'm sorry, you guys. And some of you are going to get mad, but I'm getting prevert vibes from this whole situation. Like, he is obsessed with this little girl. And I did not like it from the get-go. I just don't like it. It's weirding me out. But, it was, headed up by Leslie Headland. Take that for what you will. But I just didn't like it. She's got a past of, prevert, witnessing prevert things. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so he only saves Osha, and like Mae dies or whatnot. As they return to Coruscant, Indara decides to blame the entire incident on Mae's fire, the adult thing to do. And she decides not to tell the council about Saul's actions so he can train Osha as his Padawan. So they're on the ship, and Saul's all like, I have to face the council. And Indara's all like, why would you do that? You bring this girl into the Jedi Order and then not train her yourself. And me, I'm all like, yeah, of course, there's no consequences to his actions of killing a woman. But at the same time, I'm all like, were his actions unwarranted? She was turning into a black mist or whatnot. I was like, I would have felt in danger. So was he really that wrong? But maybe it's because the council did say no go on that. But they should have contacted the council about the virgins. It doesn't even matter. Whatever. It's fine. So then she wakes up and he's all like, everybody's dead. Mae started a fire and everything. And that's where the episode ends. And like I said before, this episode was bad. It was not good, you guys. It was really, really bad. This show is just the worst. I don't understand how any Star Wars nut huggers will be able to defend this bullshit. Like, it was just bad. It was really, really bad. So my theory is that Coral will show up again. I now think that Anastasia is not the one that is leading what's his face. I do think Coral will show up again. I honestly do, because we did not see her die. I didn't see a body. Did you see a body of Coral? Because all the witches, they passed out, which is fine. But I didn't see a body for Coral. She turned into that mist, and then that was it. So I honestly think that Coral will show up again. And because, she's angry. She's angry as shit. And I do think that this creating life of virgins thing will also be a thing when it comes to like Palpatine. And I do, you know, a lot of people think that, oh, what is his name now off the top of my head? Palpatine's master. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember. But I do think that he will show up also at the end. There will be maybe he'll be the big reveal instead of Coral. But I just want to say, I didn't see a body for Coral or remember seeing her body for Coral. So I do think that Coral will show up again. But other than that, I do think Saul will be dead by the end of this episode. I do think Saul is going to die. But other than that, I just don't know, man, how anybody can like this show. I really don't. I mean, it's just besides the lightsaber fighting for the most part, the rest of the show is terrible. Like I just, you know, I just don't. I don't understand, man. I really don't. But at the same time, if you like it, I can't help you and you like what you like, but I just don't understand how you can like it. But those are my thoughts on this, you guys. Sorry. That's just how it goes. All right. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like it and how? Did you not like it? Because you have, sense. But tell me what you guys thought. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the last episode of The Acolyte. You guys have a good week. May the force be with you. Bye.